Richie Rich Show.
When they say no left lanes, no left lanes. But if you are able to speak English and read English, you wouldn't be there, right? But look at them. They're there. I'm tired of these people too, y'all.
Exclusive breaking news. Only Channel 9 was there when the driver investigators suspect hit and killed two people who were working on the shoulder of I-95 was brought back to Brevard County and placed into handcuffs. The double fatal hit and run happened today near Palm Bay just before 10 a.m. Again, two workers that were in the grass were killed. Good evening. I'm Greg Warmoth.
And I'm Darlene Jones. The suspect was taken into custody all the way in Palm Beach County, more than 100 miles away. Channel 9's Melanie Holt joins us live from Cocoa at that FHP station. And Mel, you were the only reporter there when that suspected hit and run driver arrived back into Brevard County, and now he's on the way to jail.
He did. Just moments ago, we saw him pull out of the Cocoa FHP station, but I'm told by troopers here he wasn't cooperative. Only Eyewitness News was there when the suspect in a deadly hit-and-run crash arrived at the Cocoa FHP station Friday afternoon. Sky Witness 9 flew over the crash along I-95 in Palm Bay. They claimed the lives of two surveyors who were working just off the interstate. Troopers say the tractor-trailer driver stopped, but only momentarily.
The subject came to a stop, so we obviously had knowledge that he had hit somebody, stopped for a second, and then took off and just kept going. And he put the pedal to the metal. Later on, we were able to get on scene. A witness was able to give us information for the truck. We had a lot of vehicle parts that were left on scene, which made things even easier. The damaged truck was spotted almost 130 miles away in Palm Beach County.
You know, I don't know how many times we stood here talking about a hit-and-run driver, and you talk about how difficult it is to put that person behind the wheel. It sounds like you found this suspect still behind the wheel.
Oh, absolutely. We're very happy with that, and we're going to bring him to justice. He's going to be booked into the Brevard County Jail tonight. We're dragging him back. And he's going to be booked in because leaving the scene is completely unacceptable.
Troopers haven't determined if the suspect was impaired.
He's not being very cooperative with us. The company, on the other hand, is being very cooperative. They're very very cooperative with us. They're extremely sorry about the losses for the two workers. It's a terrible thing. These gentlemen were doing anything wrong. They're in the grass. They're not even on the pavement anywhere. There's no road closure. They're out there trying to do survey work, trying to make a living, and it's just no need for this.
We're told those two surveyors were from Volusia County. The suspect will be booked into the Brevard County Jail and held without bond until he sees a judge. Live here in Cocoa.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Richie Rich here. Ones and twos, real quick. Making a video real quick for the fuel aisle. See? I'm just messing with y'all. I'm only here for 2 minutes. And there's nobody here, just me and another guy. There's a couple other pumps. You know, you guys get real butthurt when we do shit like that, right? And I'm just picking with some of my subscribers because you know how some of us get a little anal about the fuel aisle. But anyway, I was watching something and listening to some of the news. Yesterday, man, Somalian, Somalia, I think he's from Somalia. He killed two people yesterday on Florida, okay? And this is one of the problems that we have in the industry with foreign truck drivers, okay? It's not that we have an issue with foreigners, because I have no problem with anybody who wants to improve their life. But a lot of these guys come into this industry, they don't care to follow rules, okay? Either they can't read the signs or they just don't care, okay? Everybody knows when you see somebody on the right-hand side of the highway, whether it's a emergency vehicle or just a regular pedestrian, you ought to get over to the left side. There is no excuse, okay, zero excuse for you not to get your ass over to the left side of the road, okay? You know, you can sit there and just the centrifugal force of the truck can drag people underneath your wheels. But for some reason, time after time, over and over again, you see these guys, a lot of guys, not just foreigners, but a lot of guys who do not get over to the left side of the lane when there's somebody on the right side, in a disabled vehicle or working or emergency vehicle, okay? I wish that law enforcement would definitely enforce that law, because it's actually a law in most of the states, okay? But for some reason, people don't get over. Also, what's my pet peeve is when you're on the highway and you're in a construction zone, okay? And you see a sign that says, all trucks use left lane. And for some reason, you catch some asshole in the right lane trying to pass you, okay? I wish that law enforcement, well, sometimes they do. I know Pennsylvania does. If they're out there running, if they're out there working, if they catch you, they will give you a fine and you have a hard day. But most states, they don't. And then they look at you like you're crazy. Most of those guys be foreigners too, okay? So this is why people have issue with foreign truck drivers, right? Because they just do not care. You know, foreigners are a problem everywhere, okay? Let's just be honest. And to speak about it, if you're not of a certain persuasion, you're considered racist. I'm not a racist. I don't care about foreigners, you know, whether a man comes to this country or not, but I know that the world has an issue with foreigners, okay? Canada has an issue with Punjabis up there. America now has issues with Mexicans and Punjabis. Spain has issue with Africans. Europe has issue with Africans and Muslims. I mean, and you know what? I can understand why people have an issue with them. Because a lot of times they come to your country and they bring their ways with them, okay? I know back in the day, it was a privilege to come to a Western country, okay? Because you were thought of high class. Now, when they open the floodgates and let anybody and their mama in these countries, okay, the class went down. I mean, I see it on the internet all the time. Now, I'm not one to judge. You know, people want to better their life. I get that. But a lot of times, a lot of those individuals do not care, okay? And they bring their problems with them. So, I'm sitting here making a video, guys, just staring at this truck. That's weird. But I'm about to make my delivery, but I want you guys to listen to this newscast and tell me what you think. That guy, that, you know, he looks Somali, you know, he sure committed a crime in the right place. Okay, Florida is one of them states that do not play. Okay, and he'll never see the light of day. I guarantee he's getting life in prison. Okay, he killed 2 surveyors, and like he didn't know, they said he stopped and looked, you know, and then he kept going. So he'll sit in jail for the rest of his life. But I'm gonna tell you something. That's always happening out here. Okay, when you see somebody on the right side of the highway, whether they're a police officer, a regular individual, whether they're out there changing a flat tire, or they're sitting on the side of the road with their flashers on, you are in the truck or to get over. Okay, so if you can't get over, you have to slow down to a crawl with your 4-ways on. Okay, but unfortunately, we have to look out for pedestrian safety because we're supposed to be professional drivers, right? But a lot of issues, man. A lot of truckers just don't care. That's something with the new school guys I see. Okay, the old school guys get over. You know, most of the old school guys were considered knights of the highway. Okay, these new school characters just ain't. And I don't understand. I know on the CDL test they have to give that question, right? But I wonder if they teach that in CDL school. They need to start going over things like that. You know, when you're driving on the highway, and you see somebody on the right side of the road, I don't care if they're sitting there bullshitting, you have to get over because you can kill them. And if not, you end up in prison for the rest of your life, like this Somalian is going to do. This Somalian, you know. A lot of those Africans are over here, man. A lot of them. Ethiopian, Somalian, Ghana, Nigerian. I mean, this trucking has become an international affair. So, I got some good news and bad news for you guys, though. You got into June 1st to learn English and speak English and be able to comprehend English, which a lot of them do, but some don't, because that's when the DOT has been instructed to enforce the law. Okay, so you have less than 30 days to get compliant. Okay, then it's on to pop, and we're going to see some interesting times in trucking. Okay, but guys, I just want you guys to be cool. I'm, you know, Rich here. I'm breaking the rule myself, making a video from the fuel aisle. I thought I'd make a quick 10-minute video. There's nobody here, and it's you know, it's late. Just me and another guy there. See him over there. So anyway, peace and love, man. Thanks y'all for supporting my channel. Please like and subscribe. I might go live later on. Might want to talk about some issues I've been thinking about all day. But until then, you know, like, subscribe, and comment. I do read your comments. You know, they are entertainment. Are you not entertained? Anyway, peace and love, man. This is Richie Rich. I'm out.